regiment that I discovered a couple of years ago when I was taking a shower. I wanted to learn martial arts. I mean, I've been wanting to learn martial arts my whole life. There's certain things that I've probably attempted to do in the past. You know, when I was a kid, I took karate classes for a couple of months. But it all comes from all the visuals that I've seen throughout the years. You know, with a lot of martial artists, you know, movie action and, you know, a lot of different action stars. But in this case, I discovered it when I was taking a shower, and it was one of those moments where I was speaking in tongues, you know, just kind of going through emotional situations at the time, and I physically responded to certain movements that my body was doing, and I'm sure a lot of people could relate to something like that happening at such an unexpected moment. But it's a discovery that I had, and it was like this heavenly regimen. I didn't know what to call it, but over the years, over the coming months, and you know the follow up and the coming years, my body just literally started to manifest those movements, and I discovered that was God leading me throughout throughout each step of understanding the concept and the meaning of what martial arts is. And it's all about essentially understanding the innate being and understanding the vital core of who you are, or in other words, understanding your godhood. I mean, literally understanding that you are a god living in a physical body. But you also have to understand the humility that comes from that. And you're not going to be able to have that revelation unless you submit yourself to the God. And personally, in my faith life, I have the understanding of who I believe I am. And I wanted to translate that on screen, and what I did was basically incorporate those physical movements that I was just eventually starting to get grasp of, really, and understand the secret behind literally letting go and allowing the natural effect of the spirit to take over, and ultimately making it supernatural. About it. Every aspect of what's going on, every situation, it's the movement, the hand gestures, but it has to be the essential spirit. I mean, as time went, you know, it just progressed and progressed and progressed, and revelation after revelation, discovery after discovery, until a point where you literally become this whole being. And not only doing the martial art, but you're becoming the art, you know. You know, and this movie's about that. This movie's about a guy that wants to understand and wants to learn the core of who he is, and it's not just about understanding or knowing how to fight. It's about how to attain the very meaning of who you are. And as I was talking in tongues throughout the years, at some point there's this word that I kept saying, and it came out, MURTAI, and it dawned on me, so I started making I decided to make a movie about it, having learned all the concept and each intricate step that I had to go through in that process of conception. I ultimately decided to make that movie, but again, even making that decision was a discovery that I had, or a discovery that I literally walked into. So basically, what I decided to do is I was blessed enough to get a job as a hotel clerk here and live at the hotel at the same time, so I incorporated that into the movie and sort of literally imitated life into the art world and have it manifest into this sequential reality. And create a story around it. And instead of sitting down and writing a script, I decided to use my reality and imitate that into the film, and obviously call it MURTAI. It's what it is. It's not necessarily martial arts or anything like that. It's something beyond. It's something that you can't necessarily relate with anybody else, because it's almost like it's your own secret, it's your own discovery, and nobody can understand it really, but in the hopes of making them understand and hopefully allowing somebody else that might be going through the same thing to let them know that hang in there and you can just create whatever it is that you want to create. So this is my home for now. I work here as a front desk clerk, and it's a part of the character. My character's name's Alex. He's basically a front desk clerk. Like I said, he works at a Holiday Inn. He lives at the Holiday Inn, and every night he goes around, makes the rounds around the hotel and checks, secures the area and stuff like that. Just make sure everything is up and running. You going to the vending machine? Works late nights, overnights, and he's trying to use that time to seek within himself and understand the path that he's on, and ultimately become, an expert at MURTAI. It's a very quiet life that he leads. Like I said, he works late nights, and he's very independent. He lives a very simple life, which is why he has time to think about these things. He has a lot of time to make discoveries and create and try to, just seek whatever it is that he's trying to find, and he has that liberty, and he's trying to make use of it. The story goes on as it gradually unfolds, and you begin to realize that Alex's life goes a lot more deeper than it seems, and the reasons why he wants to seek something a lot more deeper within himself than he already knows, and the norm just doesn't necessarily seem enough, and he knows that there's so much more deeper things going on, but the things that trigger that intrigue and that emotion is his past, and this longing that he has for this girl that he once knew and that he loved, and she kind of plays into the story. She's a part of that, I guess, ingredient that kind of ignites him to that ultimate level of harnessing the innate and essential being of who he is. As he's going through the gradual progress and understanding the core of what MURTAI is all about, and it's not necessarily just about the martial art aspect, that there's a lot of deeper and more, not necessarily intricate, but still very shaky things that need to be solidified, and the story gets deeper, and it keeps unfolding and that's basically the next level of that understanding of what MURTAI is all about. There are moments in the movie that illustrate the need for discipline, and you're going to see a lot of technical aspects of the story that make up the entire body. But there are moments in the movie that are sequentially transitional. You know, it's basically going from one phase to another and showing you the in-between and what happens in that in-between. It's not necessarily always something that happens or something that has to be dramatically projected on screen. It's basically showing you the transition and what's going on in the very truth and the raw reality of life, and sort of artistically expressing that reality, but showing that projection in the form of that transitional phase, sort of going from one season to another, or those quiet moments, or those lonely moments that you really need to express to show truth. Because if you don't have that raw perspective, then the story it's not complete. You can always tell that there's something missing. It's very important to include that in the story, and that builds and that progresses into this discipline that Alex begins to develop and understand, and the calm nature of who he is in that respect ultimately manifests in the whole being of the essential education that he learns from MURTAI. And that's what makes the story so much more interesting too, because you see the raw truth of his reality. So as we follow each technical step, there's an awareness that begins to gradually unfold, and you start to see the intricate details of each and every step that Alex is taking throughout the story, and the story unfolding, onto itself. Is where the connection between the actual raw reality of his truth and the technical aspect of how complex that raw reality can seemingly be, yet maintain that simplicity. So basically, it's just understanding just the raw nature of existence. You know what I mean? It's just the day-to-day life, and just taking in whatever comes his way. And in this case, it's the art of that MURTAI, which he's basically discovering. And what we're basically doing is we're watching this guy go through the process of conception and ultimately manifest the whatever it is that was conceived in him. You know, the seed that keeps growing. You know, and connected with every ingredient that makes up the ultimate being, like I said. And in this case would be the day-to-day things, or the night-to-night job that he has, and how that pertains to the connection between him and his past love, and how that love ignites the passion of MURTAI, and ultimately allows him to discover the different levels of existence in general. So basically, the story is obviously about Guy seeking within himself and understanding and building that relationship within himself and connected to God, and understanding that it's, the connection between the source and him, and the source, that which is God himself, allowing him to feed into the purpose of his existence. And by feeding on every moment, he becomes that intended purpose that he was meant to be.